So this year we have decided to produce 1-gallon grafted plants, and we really haven't done anything on this scale yet. I'm not a grafting nursery. I just do a lot of top working, but not a lot of potted plants. But there are some varieties of mangoes and other fruit trees that are difficult to find, and so grafting it onto a 1-gallon seedling is a good way for us to get a viable plant out there without having to take up too much space with 3 gallons, those 3-gallon pots. So behind me and over there are a bunch of what I call plant cribs. These were originally crates that were built to ship windowsills from Italy to the US, and there's a place that's a couple miles away from here that was importing them, and they were more than happy for us to come and take these away, because while regular pallets are reused, this odd size thing, nobody had a use for it, so they were just crushing them up and sending them to the landfill, which, of course, breaks my heart a little bit. So anyway, we put these up on a couple of concrete blocks, makes it easier to check on them, and been watering them, and it's been a pretty good solution. This Hayden tree, formerly Hayden tree, it's top worked most everywhere already, is providing a lot of shelter from the really hot sun. The crib that's furthest away over here gets the most shade, so if I think a seedling or a plant needs like a more protected environment, it goes down there. This is our sunniest location. There's a few 7-gallon plants here that provide some shade, and then we have another crib behind that, and behind that there are 2 crates that are used for bulk fruit shipment. And I've seen avocados shipped in that, and I believe they also ship citrus in it. I'm sure there's other things too. But a friend of mine gave me those. They had actually been broken on one side, so they were not useful for their original purpose. But that's a place for seedlings, mango seedlings to grow. So this has all been working out pretty well. There are a few disadvantages. One thing is, the mango tree here actually produces fruit, so it's more difficult to pick the fruit, and sometimes fruit falls down on the plants, and so we've lost a few of those seedlings, or grafted seedlings actually, to mango falling on top of them. And then I have the situation right over here. There's this shorter branch here and this long horizontal branch, and those branches I want to finish top working. The shorter one I've gotten like at least half of it top work. The longer one I haven't been able to reach. So long term, this is not a good strategy. It's been working out well, but I saw something at another nursery that caught my eye, and so I decided to try it here. So hot off the press, this is the new generation of things to put 1-gallon plants on. It's made out of course, concrete blocks that are supporting it, and the top part is 4 foot wide and about 22 feet long piece of commercial or industrial grade hardware cloth. It's a lot stronger than most hardware cloth that you can buy at the garden centers and such. This is definitely something like significant to bend, and I'm hoping it will hold up really well. I don't think there's anything here to rot. It would take this is galvanized, so it would take a long time for it to rust, and of course the concrete blocks are not going to rust either, or degrade. Some of those concrete blocks, not these, but some of them that we're using here is probably 40 years old or older. They came with the property. So anyway, this is really nice because, I don't think it's going to rot. It'll be easy to check on the plants. If they do have some weeds growing in the pots, it'll be easy to take them out. So These 1-gallon plants should be about 3 feet off of the ground, and that's a lovely thing because of all the weeds and all the weed seeds that are closer to the ground. I think that there's not going to be very much of a weed problem up here. So we'll be able to check on those plants, take the weeds out when they're young, and hopefully this will be a lot easier place for us to monitor the 1-gallon plants. Also, I should mention that this shade cloth that is above us is, I think, a 70% shade. So that should be gentle on the plants also. So hopefully we'll have a lot of success with our 1-gallon plants in this area. So we've been putting a lot of 1-gallon plants on this today. This new hardware cloth bench. I think it's going to work out really well, but apparently there are some modifications that we need to make. The main thing is the position of these towers of concrete blocks. I thought, that putting them a little bit off the edge would be a good idea, but I think they need to be closer to the edge. Also, it seems like we're going to need even more concrete blocks. I thought I had a lot of concrete blocks hanging around. Apparently, never enough. Because there are a few areas that are sagging a little bit, so need more concrete blocks. But I am really pleased with this bench. I can keep an eye on the plants, weed them, and then I'm shuffling these from other areas of the shade house. And this is what happens when we have them on the ground cloth. They find a little soil that's filled on the ground cloth and start growing roots out there. So a lot of these will need to be repotted, and this won't happen up here on the hardware cloth bench.